Imagine it's 1968. The world is a mess of division, war, and uncertainty. But in the final days of that year, something happened that united humanity in a way nothing had before. For the first time ever, humans left our home planet and traveled to another world, the Moon. This is the story of Apollo 8. On December 21st, 1968, a massive Saturn V rocket lit up the Florida sky. On board were 3 brave astronauts, Frank Borman, James Lovell, and William Anders. Their mission wasn't to test systems in Earth orbit like previous flights. Their destination was nearly 400,000 kilometers away. They were going to the Moon. At the time, the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union was at its peak. President Kennedy had famously declared that America would put a man on the Moon by the end of the decade. But with only a year left, time was running out. So NASA made a daring, high-stakes decision. Instead of a more cautious approach, they would send Apollo 8 directly into lunar orbit, even without having tested the lunar lander in space. It was an incredibly bold move. Soon after launch, Apollo 8 fired its engines for a maneuver called translunar injection. This was the moment of no return. The spacecraft broke free from Earth's gravity, and for the first time in history, humans ventured into deep space. As they journeyed onward, the astronauts watched our planet shrink behind them, becoming a tiny, fragile blue marble suspended in the vast blackness of space. After a 3-day journey, they reached their destination. On December 24th, Christmas Eve, Apollo 8 slipped behind the Moon, cutting off all radio contact with Earth. Mission Control held its breath. Then, as the signal returned, the world heard the words it had been waiting for. Apollo 8 was successfully in orbit around the Moon. The astronauts became the first humans to ever see the far side of the lunar desolate, ancient, and mysterious landscape that no one had ever witnessed before. Then, as their capsule came around from the far side, one of the most powerful moments in human history unfolded. Astronaut William Anders looked out the window and saw something breathtaking: our Earth, rising over the barren lunar horizon. He grabbed a camera and captured the iconic Earthrise photograph. This single image forever changed how we see our home, sparking a new global consciousness about the beauty and vulnerability of our planet. That same evening, from 240,000 miles away, the crew of Apollo 8 held a live television broadcast that was watched by over 1 billion people. Floating in orbit around the Moon on Christmas Eve, they took turns reading from the Book of Genesis, sharing a message of peace and hope with a world that desperately needed it. It was a unifying moment that transcended borders and politics. After 10 orbits, it was time to come home. Apollo 8 fired its main engine one last time, breaking away from the Moon's gravity and beginning the long fall back to Earth. On December 27th, the command module blazed through the atmosphere and splashed down safely. In the Pacific Ocean, the mission was a stunning success. Apollo 8 proved that humans could travel to the Moon, navigate in its orbit, and return home safely. It paved the way for Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to walk on the lunar surface just 7 months later with Apollo 11. But Apollo 8 was more than just a technical rehearsal. It was a testament to human courage, ingenuity, and our unyielding desire to explore. In a time of deep division, it reminded us that we all share one beautiful, precious home. Apollo 8 didn't land on the moon, but it made the moon reachable.